big old oak tree is across the street from across the river from where I live over there. That's Anjo village on the Hiroshima side of the river. It's a little hard to see the river from this angle because of the tall grass here in between. And the river runs up toward the dam about 1 kilometer away in that direction, and then runs down this direction into Otake City and empties out into the Seito Naikai, or the inland sea. That's where Miyajima and up to Hiroshima and down past Iwakuni, where that's all at. But today I wanted to come over here and get some video of this and some photos of this tree and its little shrine right here. This is called the Dasai Shrine. It's just a little neighborhood shrine. It's not famous for anything except for maybe the people that live here in this area. There's really not much to it. This little building right here, being pulled along by my dog here, so the video's a little shaky. Shut till he stops. So this little building, Chili, stop. This little building right here is the anteway into the shrine, and the shrine is actually that small little shelter right there where the local deity lives. These little white papers are signify that there's recently was a festival here, some kind of celebratory festival having to do with this shrine. Also the dried out bamboo that's not planted, but stuck in the ground and roped off here. So this tree is just huge. Come here, Joey. Come here. Come here. Stay. Stay. So there's my dog. She's a full-size female Doberman. Weighs about 60 pounds. And that tree is a good 30% wider in diameter than she is long. So it's got to be 4 or 5 meters in circumference around this tree. It's huge. And with the leaves turning right now, getting toward the end of that part of the season, but it's still pretty. Again, looking back toward my side of the river in my village of Anjo over there. This is a typical um, off the main road, little one vehicle track road that leads up. This one actually goes up from down toward where I live, across this hill on the other side into I think Minami Iwakuni, South Iwakuni. It's quite a ways up there. I'm not going. It's several miles actually. I'm not going that far today. But took the dog up here for a walk from my place. We're about 1.5 miles from my place right now. But just to show the kind of countryside that's typical in this part of Japan, and pretty much anywhere in Japan. Come on, Joey. Let's go home. So this road that I've been walking on for the last half hour, 45 minutes or so, steadily climbs until it reaches the top back there where I just showed you. We've gone up as far as I'm going to go today, and we're headed back down now. Little creek running alongside the road here, which I would not be at all surprised to learn, which is why this little village that we're walking into is here to begin with. A lot of these little places, little farm houses, were built many years ago, hundreds of years ago in fact, close to water sources. So the people who lived here didn't have to go far to get their water before there was powered plumbing. There's some trails over here. I'm going to zoom in. This won't be very clean, but I'll try it. That's a small cave. I don't think it's a tunnel. Small cave with some shrine ribbons tied across it. So apparently the people in this village, or maybe one or two of the people in this village, celebrate some kind of deity in there. Or maybe it's just a big ass bear and they want to keep the bear out of the village. Which is quite possible. There's a lot of bear sightings in this area. So we're walking into this little village. I'm going to keep my voice down because it's still kind of early in the morning. This is the first house coming down the hill into this particular little village, and there's a garden plot right there. So I would not be surprised to learn that garden plot has been here for a couple of hundred years, with the same crops growing in it annually, year by year. River right across this. Oh, well, it's not a river, it's just a little creek actually. Right across the street. Nice little pool down there. The dog would love to get down in there and go for a swim. Wouldn't you, Chili Bean? Chili, you go for the water? Not now. It's about in the low 60s this morning. We had fairly cool temperatures earlier on this week, but or last week and into the weekend. But on Tuesday here this week, Tuesday the 16th, I believe, of November, it's unseasonably warm actually. So anyway, back to the tour. This little village, I have no idea what the name of it is. I just I've been up here a couple times, drove through here a couple times, and this is actually my first time walking the dog up here. But this is pretty typical of these little mountain gorge riverside villages that you'll see just about anywhere in the countryside in Japan. There's some newer houses up here. This one right here, probably built on the site of an older house, but it's I would say it's probably built in the 70s or 80s based on the construction. The one right next to it has been cleaned up, but the upper portion there, the roof line and all that, is pretty typical of earlier Showa period buildings. some of you may know this already, but my house is actually later before Showa. It's about 245 years old. Again, where they can, they build a place. An old lady down here cleaning up the riverside, just to keep it clean in front of her place there. Nice little place. Sun shines there in the morning. Probably gets darker and cooler in the summertime, at least pretty early on in the afternoon, because the sun goes over that hill probably around 2 o'clock, I'd say. Come on, Joe. Come on. So we're coming down to the last couple of little houses in this village here. Here's one that's obviously been abandoned. Roof's caving in. Tiles are falling down. And it's all open to the weather there. Not much to save, I'd say. That one needs to be taken down all the way to the ground. Now this one right here is probably later Meiji period, based on the roof and construction style. It's probably one of the first houses built in this part of the village. I'm just guessing. I don't know for sure. Haven't done any research in this part of on this little village here. Again, I don't even know the name of it. But it's got its own little storage building up there. It's called a kura in Japanese. Kura means storage. What they stored in these buildings back in the day depends on who the people were. This is a fairly small one. It's about 2/3 the size of mine. My detached storage building, which is in much better condition. The outside plaster is coming off this one all the way around. The roof looks like it's in pretty good shape still, but there's a pretty big chunk of wall right there on the side that looks like it's fallen out, and there's no doors on it. But again, most of them are 2-story, so they had usually like granary storage down below, and then kura means granary storage. It means storage basically, but it could also mean granary. It could also mean armory. So if there was a place in this little village, or a person in this little village back in the day that was, you know, like not samurai, but in that caste, they may have had their weapons stored in there. I don't believe this village is big enough to have anybody like that, but that doesn't mean they didn't have weapons. They do not have those weapons today. So that's leaving that little part of the village. I'll do a little research, and when I get back to the house on Google Earth, and see if I can figure out what the name of that village is. Shouldn't be too hard. Right across the river from where I live. But nice little place, very quiet. I've been up here an hour and a half, about an hour now, I guess, and I've seen 2 cars go by. These trees along this side of the road here are spruce trees. Some people call them Japanese spruce, but you know, in Japan, it's just called spruce. It's kind of like Brazil nuts in Brazil. They're just called nuts. Some of you may have seen that in a movie one time. All right, getting silly. Signing off. Y'all take care.